was about to say, Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis.
He talking about
Frank Martin ain't ready, man. He not ready, man.
I ain't here short. I ain't no shit starter or nothing.
Nah.
I'm just saying. That's
his name been mentioned a couple of times, just like the other kid, Rayo.
Okay.
And I've been trying to tell the fans, stop comparing me to these other prospects because they just haven't been through what I've been through in the ring. Okay. You know, they just started getting their names. You know, y'all been knowing me since my debut. Like, and there's a reason why y'all been knowing me. They like 15, 16 fights in. Like, you guys just not on my level yet.
I said, because I think he mentioned it once before, and we were all talking about how the fight was too soon.
It was actually Carson, so R.I.P. Carson.
Y'all don't think you can.
I can't say
but
that.
I said I thought that the fight was too soon for you.
For me and Frank?
Martin. Yes, sir.
I mean, it's, you know, it's opinions. It's all opinions, but, you know, I just know what I can do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Frank not ready.
He don't care about you being 15-0 and I'm 5.
Frank not ready.
Frank is really good too, though.
Now Frank is technically sound for sure. Like he's a great fighter. I think me and him would be a great fight now or down the line. Yeah. For real. Yeah. But it's not like gonna be like he go 10 or whatever. How many rounds he go?
I think he in 10 rounds.
Yeah, he a 10 rounder. I heard that he was supposed to be fighting. He's from New York. He just lost to Hector. Prime time.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Hear about that.
I heard he's supposed to be fighting him, Chris Colbert.
Yeah.
That's a great fight. Credit to Frank Martin. Like, he a good fighter, but I really just feel like, you know, them guys is not on my level. They don't got the IQ that I got. I feel like you put the opponents he fought, you put them in there with me, and I just display different shit. Straight like that. Like for real. And I mean, just look at me, 5-0. Did y'all know Frank Martin at 5-0? What opponents he was facing? Like, it's really just different levels. Yeah. Like, y'all comparing me to him when he's 16. Imagine when I get 16.
That's why I asked you.
Will he even be in the conversation with me?
Yeah.
I'm looking for that fight. I'm looking for that fight down the road.
And that's why I asked you if you had any control over who you fight, because you fighting guys that are damn near undefeated and have, you know, substantial amount of experience in the professional ring. And I was like, okay, who's tailoring that? Is that businessman tailoring that, or has the businessman told someone to tailor it like that for him? You know what I mean? So I think the better you can. I mean, I just think that you're moving tremendously and perfectly, and in my personal opinion, you know what I mean? So I don't knock Frank Martin's path. My path was a lot the same. It was get a bunch of fights, get as many fights as you can, get paid, get experience, and find guys that can take you rounds, and kind of that general, you know, path to championship night. And you're not on the general path, and you're just not a general guy. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate your path to this point.
For sure, man. I appreciate you appreciating me, man.
What's good, Just Do family? It's your boy KB back with another one. It's your first time on the channel. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell icon, put the notifications on all so you can be notified when I drop this content, man. Let's get right into it. What y'all just heard was Keyshawn Davis doubling down. You know, first he said he'd step on Frank Martin. You know, after his win, you know, emotions was high. He was feeling himself, feeling good about his performance. You know, he had some choice things to say about Errol Spence as well. Said Errol Spence needs to stop ducking, get his tail out his butt, a bunch of different things. And what you just heard was a clip when he went on the Porterway Podcast a while ago, and he spoke on Frank Martin. And, you know, he went on to say Frank Martin is just not on his level, but then went on to say, you know, Frank Martin's a great fighter. He's a great technical fighter. He's a good fighter. You know, he think he and Frank Martin would make a good fight now or down the line. So it's like you contradicting yourself. On one end, you trying to say he's not on your level. So how would y'all make a good fight if he's not on your level? You get what I'm saying? That's why I say these young fighters got to be mindful of what they say, because I'm all about self-accountability and holding fighters to what they say. And for him to say, you know, Frank Martin is not on his level, but then say they're going to make a good fight, whether it's now or down the line, sounds a bit contradictory to me. And I think Keyshawn was unaware of how he sounded. And I just think he's a bit wrong. I like some of the things he said in there, you know. I think his Olympic pedigree is what he was alluding to in terms of saying Frank Martin is not on his level. He said, you know, he's 5-0, 6-0. He's like, did you guys know Frank Martin at 5-0? Which you make a good point. And one of the reasons I would say we probably didn't know Frank Martin when he was 5-0 because he didn't have a big, backing. He didn't have that big push. He didn't have an Olympic pedigree, so to speak. He had a good amateur career. He snatched up about, I think, 7 national amateur titles and things like that. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Frank Martin picked up boxing at the age of 18. And at the age of 18, look what he's been able to accomplish. Due to 16-0, I believe 12 knockouts. And he was very impressive in his last performance. And I was in the building at the Prudential Center the Friday where Keyshawn fought his last fight, which was a good performance over Omar Tienda Bahena. It was a 30-fight veteran. I thought it was impressive how he took that guy apart. He dropped him in the 5th round, ended up stopping him, TKO him in the 5th. It was a good performance for Keyshawn, but I'm not gonna believe I disagree with him when he says Frank Martin is not on his level. I expect him to be confident in himself. That's what you supposed to say. I think anytime you take punches to the face for a living, you gotta be confident. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate his confidence in himself, but I think he's sadly mistaken if he thinks Frank Martin is not on his level, as Frank Martin has showed to be one of the most skilled fighters at 135 pounds. The young prospects working his way into that contender space. I think this fight will be a good fight now or later, just like Keyshawn said. And I do think Frank Martin is definitely on his level. And I kind of would lean towards Frank Martin to beat him simply because of the pro experience. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's kind of slightly underrating Frank Martin, but we're going to see how these matchmakers decide to move these guys. Frank Martin is supposed to be fighting Chris Colbert, who's coming off a loss over Hector Garcia. So we're going to see how that play out. And I expect Keyshawn Davis to keep, putting the work in the gym. He's a hard worker. This kid is talented. He's very, very confident. And a lot of people are turned away by it. They feel like he's too cocky and arrogant. And I hear a lot of people giving him flack, and they don't think he's as good as his mouth would suggest. But that's all subjective. That's opinion based. I think Keyshawn is a hell of a young fighter with just 6 fights. He dispatched the guy with 30 professional fights, and only his 6th fight got him out of there in the 5th round. I think it was a good showing for Keyshawn, man. But you just got to continue to put the work in, which I think he will. Keep winning, and maybe he and Frank Martin will see each other down the line. But that's my thoughts on it, man. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know who y'all got winning between Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin. And as always, get in the comment section and let me know if I gave that boy Keyshawn Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin at Just Do, because that's what I do over here at Just Do Boxing. To the next one, I'm out. Peace.